From the people you have known from the start of your life to the people you met just a few days ago, all people act differently depending on the circumstances and the environment, such as at school, work, or even at home. People have different faces or personalities that they use depending on the environment. Whether these different personalities or faces are developed over time or discovered, humans are known to act differently around different people. Sometimes, though, humans aren't able to hide their true personality. This observation of human nature can be seen throughout literature. In this video, we will dive into the multi-faced nature of humans. The two pieces of literature that we will use to analyze this idea are Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury
hundreds of years of.
Let's start with the streetcar named Desire. Most of the light and dark imagery is associated with Blanche and the light bulb. Firstly, let's start off with her and the avoidance of light. Blanche constantly avoids light, which is symbolic of her trying to hide her past. In the beginning of the book, Blanche covers the harsh light with a lantern. This action is her hiding one of her different faces. As I stated in the beginning, now we see a character switching their personality when they move to a different environment. Blanche gives the illusion that everything is fine with her life, but in reality she is hiding a harsh truth. Just like her covering the harsh light with a lantern. In comparison though, in scene 9, when Mitch takes off the lantern, her true face is revealed. And as he screams,
what it means is I've never had a real good look at you, Blanche. Let's turn the light on in here.
Which light? What for?
This one here with this paper thing on it.
What did you want to do that for?
So that I can take a look at you good and plain.
we see in this scene, Mitch wants to see Blanche's true face. He knows she has been hiding her ugly past, like she is covering the ugly light with the lantern. The dark imagery indicates that Blanche is hiding her true face, while the light imagery is showing and shining a light on her true face. In this case, the different face is not developed or discovered, but rather it was hidden. As we see, it also relates back to the fact that no matter how hard humans try to suppress their true personality, it will. Now, moving on to Fahrenheit 451. In this story, there is lots of light imagery that is associated with fire, as the story and society are revolved around firefighters. Most of this imagery is associated with the protagonist, Guy Montag. Rather than using dark to light imagery to show different faces, Bradbury changes the whole meaning of fire to show Montag discovering a new personality. In the beginning of the book, fire is used in a destructive manner. In the beginning of the book, we see Montag in line and one with this destructive manner. He is described as having hands of an amazing conductor playing all symphonies of blazing and burning to bring down the tatters and charcoal ruins of history, as stated on page 1. In the beginning of the book, Montag's whole personality revolves around his job, so much so that he is described as being one with his job. As once Montag starts to question this society, we see the meaning of fire change as well. On the way to this change as well, we also see how hard it is for Montag to hide his new discoveries. Once again, this goes back to the idea that a true person's identity and personality always leaks through somehow. We've seen this with Montag when he tries conversing with Mildred and her friends. He lets all of his new knowledge out, and his true personality leaks through. Now, going back to the change in the fire imagery. In the end of the book, fire is used for creation, warmth, and enlightenment. He uses all of this when he's in the survivors' camp. We once again see that with a new environment, Montag's real and true personality is able to thrive. He isn't forced to. Now, let's move on to the plot and the conflict. The plot and conflict in both stories make the characters reveal and discover their true personalities. First, let's look at this in Fahrenheit 451. The main conflict in the story is person versus society. Montag is rebelling against their dystopian society. Not only does this conflict reveal a lot about Montag, as I've previously mentioned, but the people he considers friends and family. For example, Mildred. Montag initially confesses to Mildred about stealing the books because he feels comfortable telling her, and since she is his wife, he doesn't feel any betrayal coming. But as time goes on, we see Mildred's true face. We see she's more scared of Montag than she is of the society, and she calls the fireman to Montag. Montag only sees Mildred's true personality after he leaves the environment. He realizes that she wasn't really there, and she wasn't the one for him. As he states, he remembered thinking that if she died, he was certain he wouldn't cry, for it would be the dying of an unknown, a street face, a newspaper incident. Mildred's true personality was always there, but truly Montag wasn't able to see it. He only was able to see it until he had something to compare it to, which was Clarice. Now going back to the light and dark imagery, we can see that light was associated with Clarice, while another character we see is Beatty. We also see Beatty's true personality leaking throughout the story. We slowly see that he is really knowledgeable and has also read many books. Once again, we have a character somehow hiding their true personality, but as it is in people's and humans' nature, it is very hard for Beatty to hide his knowledge. We see this leaking through when he's talking to Montag. He draws allusions and metaphors to many pieces of literature, and even Montag begins to question Beatty. Now moving on to a street character named Desire. The central conflict in the story is for person versus person. Stanley is trying to uncover the truth about Blanche, while she is trying to deceive him. Both of the characters are trying to win over Stella. Not only is Blanche's secrets revealed during this conflict, but in the process we also learn a lot about Stanley. As Blanche says before, Stanley is a rugged man. Instead of dealing with Blanche's lying, he chooses violence. We already see hints of aggression throughout the story. For example, in the scene 3, when they're at the poker scene, we see that even though Stanley's a little bit drunk, he is quite aggressive to Stella. This once again shows that true person. Now relating this back to the real world, people around the world will show different sides of themselves in different situations. At work, someone might be very serious and professional, but at home, they might be aggressive or even relaxed. We never know someone's true personality. People are always putting up facades and impressions to impress people and to get on people's good sides. But as you can see throughout literature and even the examples of these books, humans are capable of being full multi-phase, but their true personalities will leak through at the tiniest moments, showing their true selves. Leaving the question to be, are these personalities discovered, hidden,